Have you ever found yourself talking only to realize no one is really listening? Maybe you're halfway through a story and your son glances at his phone, or your daughter changes the subject before you even finish your sentence. It's not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's just a pause, a sigh, a look that says your words don't carry the same weight they once did. It can be something as small as a conversation over dinner. You suggest a new way to help with the grandkids and they smile politely, but then do it their way anyway. Or maybe you try to offer advice about money or health only to be told gently but firmly that things are different now. You nod. You don't want to make a fuss, but inside something aches. You start to wonder, when did I stop being someone they looked up to? When did my voice become background noise? This quiet loss of respect doesn't always come in dramatic ways. It creeps in slowly, one small dismissal at a time. And over the years, it can chip away at your confidence, at your sense of who you are in the family. You raise these children. You carry them through sickness, struggle, and success. But now it feels like you've faded into the background of your own story. But here's the truth. Losing respect is not the end of the road. And you are not powerless. Because respect isn't something we beg for. It's something we quietly reclaim. Today's video is about how to do just that, not through shouting, not through guilt, but with quiet strength, small shifts, and a return to the dignity that never left you, even if it's been buried under years of silence. So I hope you'll stay with me until the end of this video. If this message already speaks to something inside you, I'd be honored if you like this video. And if you'd like more insights like this, be sure to subscribe to the Longevity Secret channel. This is a space where your story still matters. Now let's begin with the first quiet sign that you've been silenced, often without even realizing it. The first sign you've been silenced without knowing it. It often starts quietly, a casual dinner conversation that doesn't go anywhere. You begin to share an idea, a concern, or maybe a simple memory. But halfway through your words seem to vanish. No one responds, or someone interrupts, or the topic suddenly shifts. You're left sitting there holding the end of your sentence like a forgotten piece of paper. This may not seem like much at first, but over time it builds, and eventually it becomes a pattern, one where your words start to feel less welcome, less heard, less necessary. Paul, a 68-year-old retired postal worker from Arizona, used to be the center of every family gathering. His stories from the road, his advice on fixing things around the house, even his jokes people used to listen. But lately he told me it feels like he's fading out of focus. During Thanksgiving, while he was trying to explain an easy way to repair a leaky sink, his son-in-law cut in and changed the topic to football. No one came back to Paul's point, and he just sat there, smiling politely, but inside it stung. That moment didn't scream disrespect, but it whispered something deeper, that maybe without realizing it, the people around him had stopped viewing his voice as valuable. And the thing is, Paul is not alone. According to a recent AIRP survey, over 40% of older adults say they feel unheard or dismissed in family conversations. That's nearly half of us. And it's not because we're less wise. It's because families often fall into patterns where roles shift quietly, where elders once respected as guides start being treated like background characters. But being silenced doesn't always look like being shouted down. More often, it looks like being gently ignored. And if you've felt that if you've walked away from a conversation feeling smaller than when you entered, you deserve to know that it's not your fault, and it's not something you have to accept. There's a way to notice these moments, to name them, and to begin shifting them in a new direction. But it starts with understanding why the usual response, explaining yourself, rarely leads to the respect you deserve. Why explaining yourself doesn't work anymore. For many seniors, the instinct when we feel unheard is to explain, to clarify, to go over the story one more time in case we didn't say it clearly. We repeat ourselves. We add more context. We try to prove we're being reasonable. But here's the heartbreaking truth. Sometimes the more we explain, the less people listen. There's a deep reason behind this. As children grow into adults, their minds shift. According to researchers at Harvard, adult brains begin filtering input from familiar figures more quickly. That means when your child hears your voice, their brain may assume it already knows what's coming. Not because they mean to disrespect you, but because the brain is wired to prioritize novelty. And sadly, familiarity often leads to mental shortcuts. That's why long explanations, even well-meaning ones, sometimes fall on deaf ears. Janice, a 72-year-old widow from Ohio, shared something that stayed with me. Her daughter had been struggling with debt, and Janice, having managed a household budget for decades, tried to help. She laid out a detailed plan, suggested a few smart steps, even printed out some online resources. But instead of gratitude, her daughter grew defensive, told her to stop lecturing. Janice was stunned. She wasn't criticizing. She was trying to help. But the more she explained, the more walls went up. Eventually, Janice stopped explaining, not out of anger, but out of wisdom. She realized that being heard doesn't always come from speaking more. Sometimes it comes from speaking less, but with more presence, more calm, more confidence. Because the truth is, people rarely change how they see us through our words alone. They change through how we carry ourselves and how clearly we honor our own limits. And that leads us to something many of us were never taught: the quiet strength of boundaries. The quiet strength of boundaries. There's a difference between trying to control others and simply protecting your peace. Boundaries are not about telling your children what to do. They're about deciding what you will and will not accept for your own well-being. And that shift from fixing others to honoring yourself is where true respect begins. Janice, the same woman who struggled to help her daughter with finances, realized something important after months of tension. Her phone would ring late at night. Her daughter, overwhelmed and anxious, would unload all her worries. Janice would stay on the phone for hours listening, offering solutions, trying to soothe things. But every call left her feeling drained. And worse, nothing ever changed. One evening, after hanging up and sitting in silence for nearly an hour, Janice made a quiet decision. From now on, no calls after 9 p.m. Not to punish, not to withdraw, but because her peace mattered too. So she gently told her daughter, "If you need to talk, I'm always here during the day. But I've realized I need evenings to rest." Her daughter was surprised at first, even a little upset, but over time she adapted, and the late-night chaos stopped. Setting a boundary doesn't always feel strong at first. It can feel scary, like you're being selfish. But over time, something powerful happens. You begin to reclaim your energy. You start feeling more like yourself again. And people start responding differently, not because you demanded anything, but because they sense your quiet clarity. A boundary is like a door that swings freely but has strong hinges. It opens with love, but it doesn't let just anything in. It honors the relationship while also protecting the one who lives inside. And for seniors who often feel pulled in every direction by kids, grandkids, health concerns, and unspoken expectations, this kind of inner gatekeeping isn't just healthy, it's essential. And once you set a few boundaries, something interesting begins to happen. You stop feeling like you need to prove your worth. You stop chasing approval. And in that stillness, something unexpected grows. Respect is earned again through stillness. Sometimes we think we need to talk more, push harder, repeat ourselves until we're heard. But what if the real power lies in stepping back, in becoming still, in letting our presence speak more than our words? Robert, a 70-year-old retired teacher, used to get into long debates with his adult children about politics, about how they were raising his grandkids, about money. He felt dismissed, so he pushed harder, tried to win them over with facts, logic, even emotion. But it only created more distance. Then one day something shifted. Robert stopped engaging in those battles. He didn't stop caring, but he did stop arguing. Instead, he focused on how he showed up. He became more thoughtful with his words, spoke when it mattered, and remained quiet when it didn't. He started reading again, tending to his garden, volunteering at a local library. At first, no one noticed, but over time, his children began to ask for his input again. They began to linger longer on calls. They could feel the shift in him, that quiet strength, that steady center. There's a kind of respect that grows when you're not trying to earn it anymore. When you stop reacting, stop defending, and simply live in a way that reflects who you are. In that stillness, your dignity becomes visible again. Not because you demanded it, but because you returned to it. When love doesn't look like agreement, there's a quiet heartbreak many seniors carry but rarely speak aloud. It's the pain of watching your adult children make choices you wouldn't have made. Maybe it's how they raise their kids. Maybe it's who they married, or how they spend money. And you sit there biting your tongue, torn between wanting to help and not wanting to push them further away. This is where love becomes complicated, because love doesn't always look like agreement, and respect doesn't always mean being listened to. Sometimes the greatest act of love is staying close even when you don't understand the path they've chosen. Clara, a 66-year-old grandmother from Florida, struggled deeply when her only son married someone she didn't get along with. From the beginning, there was tension, misunderstandings, hurt feelings. Clara tried to offer suggestions, tried to stay involved, but everything seemed to come out wrong. Her son pulled away. Phone calls became short. Visits became rare. One day after a particularly painful argument, Clara made a quiet decision. She would stop trying to change the relationship and start simply showing up in love. She began sending birthday cards, checking in with short, kind texts, offering help without expectation. And most importantly, she stopped criticizing even when it was hard. It wasn't instant, but slowly something changed. Her daughter-in-law began to soften. Her son started calling more often. And one day Clara was invited to babysit, not because she had won an argument, but because she had stopped needing to. This kind of love isn't loud. It doesn't come with big speeches or dramatic forgiveness. It's steady, quiet, and rooted in respect, not just for your children, but for yourself. It's hard letting go of the need to be right, but what you gain in return is far greater. You gain connection, peace, and the kind of influence that only grows when it isn't pushed. And once you stop waiting for others to see your worth, you begin to feel something you may not have felt in years. You begin to remember who you are, reclaiming your role without needing their permission. Too many older adults wait for their children to finally appreciate them, to ask for advice, to call and say you were right. But waiting for permission to be respected can keep you stuck, small, silent. What if instead you step back into your role, not with demands, but with quiet confidence? Being the elder in the family doesn't mean being in control. It means being a steady presence, a keeper of calm, a model of how to live with grace and clarity. Start with small things. Wake up each day and dress with care, even if no one's coming over. Speak slowly and thoughtfully, not to prove a point, but to reflect your wisdom. Keep your space clean and calm. Let your home be a place of peace, not for show, but because that's who you are. There's power in routine, in self-respect, in moving through the world as though your presence matters because it does, even if no one says it out loud. A recent study from Pew Research found that families with older adults who maintain structure, personal purpose, and identity tend to be more emotionally stable across generations. That means your way of being doesn't just help you, it helps them, even if they don't realize it yet. So you don't need anyone's permission to reclaim your role. You already have it. The moment you begin to live with intention again, you step back into the space that was always yours. And the more you honor your own worth, the more others begin to do the same. If there's one thing I hope you carry with you after watching this video, it's this. Being respected isn't something you have to fight for. It's something you quietly grow back into. Not with louder words, but with steady choices. and a soft inner strength that others begin to feel even if they never say it out loud. Aging doesn't take away your voice. It just invites you to speak from a deeper place, a place of calm, of lived wisdom, of knowing that your presence matters even when others seem distracted. The truth is, every stage of life gives us a new chance to return to who we really are. And if respect has faded in your family, that doesn't mean it's lost forever. You have the power to shift the story, one boundary at a time, one quiet act of self-worth, one moment of stillness where you no longer explain, but simply live in a way that reflects your true value. Maybe the most important message today is the simplest. You don't need permission to be respected. You just need to begin living like someone who remembers they are worth listening to. If this message spoke to you, I hope you'll stay with us for the next video. Please like this one if it helped you feel seen. Subscribe to the Longevity Secret channel for more gentle, empowering insights. And if you feel comfortable, leave a comment below, share your story, or tell us about one small boundary or change you've made to honor yourself. Your voice might help someone else find theirs again. Thank you for spending your time here with me. Take good care of yourself. Stay steady, stay kind, and remember, you are still the root of your family's story, and your presence still carries weight, whether they see it yet or not. I'll see you in the next video.